Yeah, thank you everyone for joining. I'm gonna give it like one more minute and then I'll get started. Um, can you guys just say in the chat if you can hear me? Because someone said they can't hear anything, so I was making sure. Okay, thank you. Okay, I think I'll start and then whenever people join, I'll just keep admitting them. Um, Let me keep this on the side. Today we're going to be learning about Rhodes Scholar. I don't know what events you guys have done so far, but um, yeah, I don't know bad turnout today, but that's okay. Um, I've been competing in Rhodes Scholar for 3 years and I medaled in that in my middle school time. So it's been some time since I've done Rhodes Scholar, but it's still one of my favorite events. Um, does anyone have like any starting idea about what they think Rhodes Scholar is about? Yes, it is a pretty unpopular event. This one's kind of the events that people do once like all the good events have run out, but it's still a fun event. So, does anyone have any idea of what Rhodes Scholar is? Yeah, topography, yeah. Anything else? Any other ideas? Yeah, it's basically just a lot about maps and drawing maps, and we'll get into all that stuff later. Okay, so Road Scholar, it assesses your knowledge on maps, like people have said. State highway maps, USGS topographic maps, and internet generated maps. It also assesses satellite and imagery skills as well as your ability of drawing maps. So oftentimes in competitions, they'll give you instructions and you have to like draw a map and like a topographic map and map profiling, which you have to draw a topographic map, and student created maps, which are like you have to draw rivers, orchards, and things like that. Um, these are the topics and concepts assessed. Um, you can see here, there usually what happens during competitions is that one person will be working on topographic maps. They'll finish all the questions of that, and then the other person will be doing highway maps, student created maps, and both people at the end of their respective sections will be working on satellite and internet maps together. Um, what is allowed on the test is two calculators, no graphing, rulers, protractors, any other measuring device, and hard copy. So you can, this is a binder event, so you can bring a big binder of whatever information you might need to the competition. And here I will send in chat this website which is the USGS map symbol sheet. So I have it up here, yes. It has just a bunch of, it's kind of like a legend. It has, you can see like exposed rec corresponds to this symbol, and that you'll often see that on the test. Just a bunch of symbols corresponding to different map technical terms, basically. Um, yeah, so that's really important. This is like a necessity on the test. You probably won't be able to do any of the questions without, like most of the questions without it. So that's just something that is important for the test. Okay, so again, these are the four sections, topographic maps. This is kind of how it looks like. And then state highway maps, which is probably what people are more familiar with because those are like normal highway maps, map drawing, and satellite imagery. Um, Okay, so this is a topographic map. I can you do you, would you guys prefer seeing like a bigger version of that? Because I can show you a bigger one. Wait, let me. Yeah, I can go back. Whoops. I'm just gonna put in a bigger version so that it's easier to see. Okay. Yeah, okay. I'm putting in it's just sending right now. But I put in the Hanover quadrangle. Quadrangle, yeah. It's in the chat, and that's just the same thing as this, just a bit bigger so that you can see it on your own screen. Okay, cool. Okay. And then, let's see. Okay, these are the key terms to knowing everything about a topographic map. Um, wait, let me just admit that person. Okay. So, boundaries of a quadrangle map are called neat lines. So you can see the arrows pointing just to the boundary. So this should be pretty simple. It's just the boundary of the quadrangle. Surrounding quads, you can see it shows the 8 surrounding quads of this map. So this map would be the center map, and then it just shows you what is around it. So it's 8 places that are around it, and it corresponds, it has a small little legend for the places of each of these maps. Okay, yeah. And then we have series. Series is just a group of maps with common specifications, and Road Scholar usually uses the 7.5 minute series, which means that there's going to be a 7.5 minute longitude and a 7.5 minute latitude. That is just consistent for all Road Scholar questions. So like if they ever ask you like what is the series of this map, it will be 7.5 minute. And then the scale is 1 to 24,000, which is the ratio of a distance on the map to the actual distance on the ground. That's also a constant. And then we have legends, which show important information on how to read a quad. This probably be the easiest part because it's just like you see the symbol and what it corresponds to the map. And then we have a contour interval. This one was probably new for some people. Yeah, legend is basically a key. A contour interval, which in this case is 20 feet, and this is the number of feet between each contour line. So if you look closely, you can see just a bunch of brown lines, and what it's saying is that there's a 20 feet distance between each of these lines. So this is helpful for if you're finding the elevation of something, you must look at the contour interval first. However, these contour intervals will change between like different maps, so it's not a constant thing at all. These are, yeah, these just indicate the elevation of a location. And then you can see how there's also thicker brown lines, and that's every fifth. So that's called a index contour line, and that's just every 5 lines there's going to be an index contour line, which is what the darker brown lines you see on the map are. And then we have the map location, which again, this is in Hanover, New Hampshire. And magnetic declination, which is shown on the map there. And what this is you can think of it as, okay, so a true north is a fixed point on the globe. Magnetic north is the direction that a compass needle points to as it aligns with the Earth's magnetic field. So, okay. So the direction in which the compass needle points is known as magnetic north, and the angle between magnetic north and the true north direction is called magnetic declination. Okay. With that, this is a fun fact. This is the rule of V. So you can see how the contour lines located on the stream will always point upstream. For example, if the contour line is pointing northwest, the stream will be flowing to the southeast. So you can see how you can see the red lines show the rule of V's, and the stream is pointing in the opposite direction of those V's. So this is pointing southeast, yeah. Okay. Okay, now moving on to state highway maps. I will put in 2 links in the chat to look at the San Francisco highway map as well as the legend for that map. Legend and scale are the same as you saw previously in the quadrangle. Population is usually found next to the city name, so I think I have it here. Yeah, population is found next to the city name, so does anyone see the population? Oh, maybe it's. Okay, it's usually located there. I don't think it's located there today, though. Okay, and then interstate routes, which is probably in my opinion, the coolest thing, is that two-digit routes are longer intercity routes, and three-digit routes are local shorter routes, which is why if you see like, just if you're going on any like interstate highway, you can know like what type of route it is just based on how many numbers it is. And then there is even number routes which run east and west, and odd number routes that run north and south. So I have a video which we can watch if we have time, but there's like a bunch of practice problems and Kahoot too. But this is also a very interesting video that if we have time we can watch. Um, okay. Then we're going on to the public land survey system, which does anyone know about this if they want to talk, like, have any idea what this is? Okay. Public land survey system is just a way of identifying locations on a map. So it's usually a, one second. I lost the, okay, yeah, it has um, 36 square miles, which is 460 acres per mile. And yeah, a way the government used to survey public land. So you can see here, it's each section is divided into quarters, and each quarter is divided into another quarter. So if you see on the top left, it's northwest quarter of the northwest quarter. So it'll make more sense here. But here you put the section number for student, this is for student created maps when you're um okay. so this is for student created maps. Oftentimes they'll tell you like an instruction like place an orchard in the southwest 1/4, northeast 1/4, 12, and you should be able to know how to do that. You put the section number in the middle, which is 12, and it says 12 in the instruction, and the scale directly below the square, and then you use the map symbol sheet shown earlier, and you use that on how to draw whatever they ask you to draw. So if it's an orchard, they'll ask you to put, they'll ask you, I mean, if it's an, they ask you to draw an orchard, you would draw like a bunch of array of green circles. Um, okay. Okay, and then satellite imagery, this should be pretty easy, but a lot of Road Scholar like questions are pretty easy. So, an area of low flat land shaped like a triangle where a river splits and spreads out into several branches before entering a sea. This is a lagoon. Oh, wait, I don't know what's happening. Uh, okay, there. Lagoon, which is a shallow body of water separated from a larger body of water by a narrow landform. And then a fjord, which is a long, narrow, deep inlet of a sea between high cliffs. You can see that in the picture. And then vegetation, you can see how different colors correspond to different things. So they might just give you like a field and you have to know what's what. And farmland is just a bunch of those quadrilateral, like square, rectangle, different color looking things. And then forests are dark green because of the population density, and grasslands are lighter green. And then you should also know what the time of day is based on a shadow. So you can see here the shadow is pointing towards 3 p.m. on a clock, so that's how you know it's afternoon. Um, yeah, and for example, if the shadow was directly north, it would be either noon or midnight. Um, okay, okay. Now we're gonna go into activities. So whatever the word bank is there, and we're gonna go each by each one and one and see if you guys know what each is. So for the first one, the one that's pointing to the border, what is that called? You can type it in the chat. So the first one is pointing to just the borders of the map. This arrow. What I mean by first one is like this one right here. That's the one I'm looking for. Okay, I'm seeing some answers. I want to see more though. If oh, okay, so this is neat lines. So neat lines again are just the ones are just the border and surrounding the map. Okay, going on to the next one. Um, there, yeah, it's the one that's in red on the red circle. What is that called on the bottom? Um, the red circle one. Okay, this is not the legend. This is the surrounding quads. Remember, the legend is the one right next to it on the right, and that's the key. But the one here is surrounding quads, which shows you the 8 quads around this quadrangle. Okay. And oh, I gave away the next one. Okay, that one's series. Okay, the one that's pointing to, I can make it more clear for everyone. This one right here, it's literally there. But yeah, okay, that one's obvious because it kind of says the name there, so I'll go fast on that one. Okay, and then I also gave away that that's legend. Okay, next one, let's try that one. It's pointing to the thing right below the scale. Does anyone have any idea? It's a contour interval. Um, yeah, and then oh my God, I gave that away again. That's the map location. Okay, last one. What is that one? Okay, guys, can we stop the brain rot and answer the questions? It's I can circle it for everyone. Here, that's the one we're looking at right now. Because I only have one person who wrote the answer. Yeah. Okay, you guys got it. It's magnetic declination. Let me just clear all drawings. Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, now more practice. What is this body of water called? Can anyone see my screen? It, yeah, okay. It is a lagoon. Okay, which is the direction of the stream flow? Okay, I see a mix of answers between B and A, and this is actually A, because if you remember the rule of V's, if you draw a V here like that, it would be the opposite of that, which would be north to south. It would go down that. Okay, so the answer is A. Okay, let's keep going. This one should be really, really simple. So, what is this one called? What type of route is it? Like when I say type, I don't mean like the number. I meant like is it interstate, federal, state, like that. Okay, yes, it's federal. Okay. Okay, why do some two-digit interstate routes have even number route numbers and while others have odd number route numbers? So this tests your knowledge on direction. Okay, someone said some go west and some go south, but do you remember which ones go in which direction? Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, two-digit numbers are east to west, and two-digit odd numbers are north to south, which I think most people have got. Yeah. Okay, so now we can either do a Kahoot or watch this Interstate's Forgotten Code. Um, you guys can choose which one you want to do first. You can put in the chat if you want to watch the video or watch the or do the Kahoot. Okay, I think we're getting most people saying video, so I'm gonna do that. Let me. Okay, I'm gonna play it and just let me know if you guys can hear it, okay? If not, I'll redo it.
The interstate highway shields hide within them long forgotten
Yes.
knowledge. As our great ancestors
Can hear? Yeah, okay, cool. Let me restart this.
The interstate highway shields hide within them long forgotten knowledge. As our great ancestors could navigate by the signs in the sky before the creation of the compass, so too before GPS could they navigate by these signs. Come with me and learn how to navigate the constellations created across a continent by the interstate highway system. First are the interstate majors, beginning with I-90 from Seattle to Boston, the longest and northernest of all the I's. Then the southernest, Jacksonville, Florida to Santa Monica, California, I-10. Interstate majors that run east-west are double digits ending in 0. The bigger, the northerner. So filling in the rest, the next northernest is San Francisco, California to Teaneck, New Jersey, I-80, and the next southernest, Florence, South Carolina to Kent, Texas, I-20. Then Cove Fort, Utah to Baltimore, Maryland, I-70, and Little Rock, Arkansas to Fort Worth, Texas, I-30. Okay, so that one is the most minor of the majors, and it doesn't quite fit as well with the rest, with its diagonality. But I'm confident it's the lone exception and not foreshadowing. Next, Barstow, California to Wilmington, North Carolina, I-40, then I-50 and I-60, which don't exist. See, there are older highways than the interstate system, slower other ways not built to the interstate's book of exalted construction codes. These are called U.S. highways or U.S. routes, the most famous of which is Route 66, and these use the United States numbered highway system, which put the old U.S. Route 50 and 60 right in the middle. The Department of Transportation knew that only the most devout roadway anorex would be attuned to the difference between interstates and routes, and normals would simply look at the number. To simplify everyone's life, DOT skipped interstates 50 and 60 to avoid minds getting muddled in the middle of America. That's the east-west interstate majors covered. Now on to north-south, the longest of which is Maine to Miami, Florida, I-95, which, like all majors, no exception surely, are double digits, but ending in 5 now to indicate verticality. On the opposite coast, San Diego, California to Blaine, Washington is I-5. Okay, so already that's not double digits, but maybe officially it has a leading 0, but just not on the sign, right, Department of Transportation? No? Okay, well, then I-5 has a leading 0 in our hearts.
Tired of typing tons of notes during class? There's finally a better way. It's called Otter.
The rest of the north-south interstate majors are Petersburg, Virginia to Montgomery, Alabama, I-85, a bit of a sister route to I-30, San Diego, California to Sweetgrass, Montana, I-15, Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan to Hialeah, Florida, I-75, Las Cruces, New Mexico to Buffalo, Wyoming, I-25, then I-45 from Houston, Texas to Dallas, Texas. Contrary to popular belief, interstates don't have to be interstate interstates. They can be intrastate interstates. The obvious examples are Hawaii and Alaska, which have intrastate interstates, but also Puerto Rico, which has an extra state, intrastate? I mean, I guess technically it's an extra unincorporated territory? Anyway, these three being physically disconnected from the rest of the network use a different numbering system with letters. But back on the continent, there are in fact way more intrastate interstates than interstate interstates. Most are the interstate minors we will get to, but I-45 is notable for being the only interstate major that's intrastate. Finishing up the north-south majors, it's Texas again and Laredo to Duluth, Minnesota, I-35, then Chicago, Illinois to LaPlace, Louisiana, I-55, and finally hop over to Mobile, Alabama up to Gary, Indiana on I-65. Together, the interstate major constellation with its shining numbers lets you navigate the nation. The lower the numbers, the more south and west you are, the higher north and east. If it ends in 0, you're traveling horizontally, and if it ends in 5, vertically. Very satisfying. Now, there are scores of lesser connecting constellations as well. These are interstate minors and use 3 digits to communicate their navigational secrets. Interstate minors diverge from a major and have their last 2 digits match the major from whence they came. Then, if the first digit is even, it means the interstate minor will eventually connect back to its parent major. For example, as I-70 crosses the nation, I-670 diverts in Kansas City, Missouri, but eventually circles back to connect to I-70 in Kansas City, Kansas. Even-numbered minors are often called bypasses when they bypass something, or beltways when they encircle something. An interstate minor that starts with an odd number warns that it will not connect back to its parent. This is called a spur. Example, as I-90 goes past Buffalo, I-190 diverges, and the odd digit lets you know you won't be coming back, instead plunging one way into the wilds of Canada. Nice! Though sometimes a spur won't just go nowhere, it will instead connect back to another interstate major. In this case, which of the double digits are used as the base of the triple? And the answer is there isn't a consistent answer. It's up to the states. So that's interstate majors and minors, but there's also interstate mediums, like I-64 from Wentzville, Missouri to Chesapeake, Virginia, and I-29 from Kansas City, Missouri to Pembina, North Dakota. The interstate mediums follow the same numbering pattern as the majors. All 2 digits, if we keep those leading zeros in our hearts, evens east-west, odds north-south. All in order too, except for I-99, which is so annoying. DOT, why did you do this? What? Congress specifically picked 99 out of order for this highway, so Congress is the only one who can fix it? Ugh. Well, let's just try to ignore that and move on. The interstate majors are all uniquely numbered, but not so with the mediums. There's an I-76 from Big Springs, Nebraska to Denver, Colorado, and another I-76 from Belmar, New Jersey to Akron, Ohio. Sandwiched between the majors I-90 and I-80 are duplicate medium I-84s, I-86s, I-87s, and I-88s. The rule is that as long as the duplicates are far enough away to avoid muddling minds, it's fine. There are also loads of duplicate interstate minors, which there have to be if you think about it. Take I-95, which crosses 15 densely populated states. To only have 9 options for spurs and bypasses would be rather limiting. In fact, just Maryland alone has an I-195, 295, 395, 495, 595, 695, 795, 895, and really? Oh, so close. DOT, you've got to build an I-995 in Maryland just to complete the set for me, please. So that's the system, but as we've already seen with interstate mediums, anything built over decades is going to acquire exceptions. And taking a little detour to my home interstate, I-495, aka the Long Island Expressway, aka the LIE, don't dare call it the lie or locals will laugh at you. This is the spinal spur of the Long Island fish, never connecting back to its parent I-95 because Long Island is an island. But as a one-way spur, it should start with an odd digit, not an even, and it really should be a 2-digit interstate medium because it technically doesn't connect to I-95 at all, rather just dropping you off in Midtown Manhattan with an LOL buddy, good luck finding the Lincoln Tunnel. I guess the LIE is a lie after all. A worse exception on the other coast in San Francisco is Interstate 238, which the number tells you should be a bypass off of I-38, but no, I-38 doesn't exist. I-238 is a one-way spur connecting 2 other interstate minors, I-580 and I-880, so I don't even know what's going on here. There's also some weirdly one-off numbering, such as I-35, which splits into I-35 East and I-35 West to reach Fort Worth and Dallas before rejoining and pulls the same trick up north, dividing in twain east-west branches again to hit the Twin Cities. Why wasn't just one of the branches on each end picked to be the bypass so that the system could be consistent? Was it because the cities didn't want to be the one considered bypassed? That's totally the reason, isn't it? The weirdest one-off is the nice I-69, which splits itself into I-69 East, I-69 West, and I-69C. Okay, you do you, I-69. At least you have a sign, unlike back in New York with America's smallest interstate, 878, at just under a mile, which apparently doesn't deserve a sign, so the interstate anoraks can never complete their selfie collection. Okay, that's enough exceptions. I could do this all day. I already cut so many from the script you wouldn't believe it. Back to the big, beautiful, constructed constellation and its lost wayfinding ways, now revealed so that as your ancestors before you navigated by the sky, you too can go on an American road trip navigating by the interstate numbers alone. Well, after you memorize all the exceptions.
Okay. Um, okay, so that was just a little video about the interstate system and like a bunch of exceptions. Um, Let me just, okay, I think we have 7 minutes, right? So I think we can do a quick Kahoot, but I was just also wondering what grade are you guys in? Because I don't know if you guys like already know everything. Okay, seventh, rising
I'm
seventh.
in fifth.
Oh, you're in fifth. Okay. Some of you guys are going to ninth grade. That's okay. This is probably really, really easy for some of you guys for sure, but it's just a um, big, like different grades of people, you know? Okay, let me pull up the Kahoot for. Wait. Yeah, the video I think went really fast, but I think it has like a bunch of information that would be nice. That's like basically all of it is tested on the test, but okay, here's
Wait, could we do the submarine one?
huh? What? What submarine?
When you go out, you can do the submarine one. It's like a team one. It's not just like everybody for themselves.
That's the cat.
Okay, maybe an experimental design if we have, because I think that'll be short. We can do.
Boga.
Okay, I'm gonna start it in like 20 seconds because we only have 5 minutes. I'm starting at exactly 4:36. Okay, I think you can still join after, right? Okay, let's start. Okay. No, this is not about the Kahoot. I mean, this is not this Kahoot is not about the video. This is just general like Rhodes Scholar knowledge. This one should be like super easy. If everyone doesn't get it right, then okay.
Disappointment.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Exactly. Okay. Cool. Okay. Next, we'll just do it till 4:40. Wait, I need to get to the harder questions. The beginning ones are a little easy. Okay. Okay. It seems easy, but all of these questions are the ones that they ask.
Whose name is Booga?
Hmm.
Booga.
Yeah, contour lines never cross. You can check the Hanover quadrangle. It shows that it just they're always like a feet apart, but they never cross. Okay, this will probably be our last one.
I live in Florida, so I know.
You live in Florida.
I had a
Hello.
quest on this.
That's so cool. Okay, last one.
I got it.
In our section.
Okay. Yes. It's a junction. Okay, this is the leaderboard. And we're gonna stop sharing. You guys have a 10-minute break. You guys can be back at 4:50 to do experimental design. So I'll see you guys then. Let me know if you have any questions on the chat. Why am I getting brought at?
Goo goo gaga. Here's a 10-minute break. The meeting continues at 4:50. So right now I'm unmuted and walking around.